Hey, welcome to the Art of Relationship Show, people. Another episode. Gonna have a little fun today, hopefully, or part of it. Talking about Halloween. Is it just for this month? And I know a lot of adults had, excuse me, Halloween parties last weekend. There's some Halloween parties this weekend, I've heard as well. So we're gonna be talking about, does it have to be Halloween for you to sort of role play in your relationship or marriage to give you sort of permission other than Halloween to be able to kick that up a little bit. Okay. So don't go anywhere. Going to be coming right back, and also about helping you to not dwell on or stop dwelling on marriage and relationship problems. Okay. And as always, you can go Q&A, get your questions ready, and we're going to be kicking off the show very soon, right after the intro. Hey, welcome back to the Art of Relationship Show. Hopefully, everybody can hear me, and audio's coming pretty clear. And as always, throw in your questions down below in the chat, people, and I'll do the best I can to answer them. Okay. So, as always, regardless of what we're talking about or the subject or topic I have, make sure, get your questions ready, and I'll do the best I can to help you, uh, you know what, deal with the relationship or marriage challenges you're going through, or maybe even intimacy aspects as well. For those that don't know, I'm Greg Dudzinski, fully licensed professional counselor here in the state of Michigan in Detroit area, and I am a relationship and sex specialist. Okay, so I want to help people with your challenges, problems. That's what I do. My office. I'm in my office now, so I want to help as many people out there as possible. And also make sure you share the video, share this episode on your timeline. I want to help as many people out there and answer as many questions out there as possible. And when I kick it off, which is now, right, talking about Halloween, and I mentioned at the very beginning of, excuse me, about people being able to look at um Halloween season, people role play. They might dress up as their favorite superhero. Women might dress a little risque, woohoo, which I'm all for, right? But looking at that, it, like Halloween time, this time of year, all the adult Halloween parties, it gives a lot of people permission to be a little more risque, to be a little more, nasty, a little more sexy, those aspects. But when the holiday season is over with, right? Couple weeks, whatever, all that goes away. And my question is, do you allow that to come out in your relationship, in your marriage on a regular basis? We're not talking 24/7, right? No, but on a regular basis. And it seems like a lot of people, during the holiday season, Halloween season, they get more confidence to look more sexy. Some guys, look more buff, or the costumes they want to be in, the role play that situation. And the confidence just rings out when you're role playing. My question is, where's that confidence? Where are you giving yourselves permission, you and your partner, to sort of role play, to be a little more sexy, both of you, in your relationship and marriage outside of the holiday season, to spice it up a little bit in your relationship? And a lot of people, right after the party, whatever, you go back to normal life. And I get it. You have kids, you work, life, paying bills, household chores, that type of stuff going on. But it's sort of ironic because it's Halloween season. Hey, Sammy, I appreciate everybody tuning in. So that's where I look at. Oop, I forgot to start Instagram, people. My bad. So that's where I'm looking at the situation during holiday season. you plan for that party. You plan to go out, maybe get that costume or make the costume yourself, to get, maybe makeup, get your hair done. Not my hair, right? I have none. The guys, same thing, right? The dress up. So you might put a lot of time into it, but you don't put that time in to your relationship or your marriage into maybe role playing, but you do for how Halloween season. I know a lot of people, Halloween's their favorite time of year. They love getting dressed up. They love being risque, sexy. Men, might play their favorite comedian, superhero, football hero, sports figure, right? And what would it take to implement that? Sorry, as I trip over my tongue, to be able to implement that in your relationship or in your marriage, maybe, on a semi regular basis, to give yourself permission to, where is that confidence at? And a lot of people, well, I'm not really that way. I'm not that this way. I'm not really sexy. I can't even talk about sex, or I can't even pretend to be this because that's not really me. Well, wait a minute. Then where did it come from in the holiday season, right? So that's where I look at, where does that come from, that you give yourself permission, but outside of Halloween, it goes away, it vanishes. Hey, Benny, Kiki, Josh, appreciate you tuning in. So that's why I want to do this special episode, to be able to look at and maybe, help people give yourself permission to be that, seductress, to give that, sexy, confident persona, if you will. You have it then. Where is it on a regular day basis? Where is it once in a while that you can still feel sexy like you do during Halloween? You can feel like confident man, I'm trying to be, Iron Man, Spider Man, whatever, right? And those situations, and I'm confident I play that role. But where is that in your marriage relationship? And that's where I'm asking people and challenge people to have a little fun, to bring that out in your relationship, to bring that out in your marriage, and watch your relationship be able to, sort of be more alive, that you sort of awaken those elements in your relationship and marriage. And it gives you a break from, let's face it, the day to day monotony. It gives you a break from, the kids, from the bills. I tell people, you've known this. If you listen to me or watch certain episodes, I'm a realist, right? It's setting, all that aspects of those situations, but it's also to be able to give yourself permission. Hey, I felt really sexy. I felt so confident dressed like this, and I owned it at the Halloween party. Oh, awesome. You were awesome. You were great. Man, I felt confident. But then outside of Halloween, it goes away. My question is why? We're not talking arrogance. We're talking, can you own your sexuality outside of Halloween? Maybe on a monthly basis, right? That would be great. Weekly basis, terrific, right? But I'm a realist, it's hitting it now and then, to bring it out, give yourself permission, that, think about that, right? And a lot of people, oh, I had the confidence to wear all this and act this way because of alcohol, right? They blame it on alcohol, right? But maybe you were that way, you were that way before you started drinking, right? You already playing your costume. You already were thinking about how you were going to act, how you were going to look before you started drinking, right? So that's where I want to look at those situations, okay? So, we got a question. I want to hear this. This would be cool. If you were told to write your last book for your loved ones, what would your last paragraph say? You know what? That's a great question. Now, we could say, for your loved ones, it could be the last paragraph. What would it say when it comes to your kids, right? When it comes to your significant other? Oh my God, I love the last paragraph. I loved our life together. I love being together. You were, man, you were my sex kitten, you were my stud. That's a great question. What would that last paragraph say to your loved one? Oh my God, I loved our life together. I love being naked together. What would that last paragraph to say? That's a great question. And actually, that's a terrific exercise. And on that, I talk about expectations a lot, right? And looking at, you know, what your expectations are, but also, excuse me, you know, do you look at the good before the last paragraph that you wrote? Maybe you wrote the last paragraph and then you passed away, right? Immediately after, a year later, 6 months later, not earlier, sorry. But what do you do? And not only can you update that last paragraph, can you add to it? Can you change it? Can you edit it? Absolutely. Okay. That's where I want people to be able to give yourself permission. Even that, you know, as the viewer mentioned about the last paragraph, are you able to even look at, hey, the regret aspect, man? Why couldn't I act, maybe that seductress or, that, debonair gentleman, the seducer, right? And I'm like, why can't women and men both be seducer, seductress, right? Um, those type of situations. Hey, I allowed that to come out Halloween, right? Awesome. The Halloween party, I felt confident. And that's where I want people to understand where is that during the regular basis, okay? And it's almost like culture, society in North America that it gives you permission to be a certain way. And a lot of people, let's face it, you sort of dress how you want to be. You sort of dress what maybe is your inner self, your inner story, your inner craving, maybe your dream, your fantasy type of situation, right? So that's where I ask people in the situation to bring that out in your relationship, in your marriage, on a regular basis. Not doesn't have to be 24/7. And you can start seeing that spark in your marriage and your relationship to flourish. It can start coming back and you can have fun and rejuvenate. Maybe you want to dress up. And a lot of women, complain, men, oh, they want me to wear this, they want me to wear this negligee, whatever, right? Bra, underwear, want me to dress around, maybe pretend I'm dancing on the pole. And I ask women all the time, so I'm all about flipping the script. What would you like your man to be? And even with Halloween, if you're talking about role playing, what would you like your man to be, dressing up that you find sexy, that you find, attractive? Or part of that is also about being fun, right? Being funny too, being comical, and laugh kicks up the endorphins, the dopamine levels. And that laughing, joking around can turn into more, um, maybe sexual relations, maybe more intimacy, more comfort together, and just simply more fun. Those situations, okay? So that's where I want people to be able to look at, you know, implementing Halloween, what it represents, what it means, the maybe the confidence, the role playing, to allow that to come out throughout the year. Not just give yourself permission, oh, it's Halloween, so it's socially acceptable for me to be this way. Implement that in your relationship, in your marriage, throughout the whole year, okay? Sounds easy. No, I know it's not easy, but that's where I want people to be able to look at, okay? Hey, Daniel, I appreciate everybody tuning in. And throw your questions out, people, down below or up above, sideways, whatever platform you're viewing this on. Throw your questions out there related to dating, marriage, intimacy, and I'll do the best I can. Excuse me. I'll do the best I can to answer the questions. And as always, a disclosure, right? It doesn't actually replace the actual professional counseling I do in my office, which I'm in now, because of, disclosure agreements, confidentiality. I can't guarantee that this way, but I do the best I can to answer them. And, staying on the Halloween, sort of theme, when you think about that, what do you feel about yourself when you're dressing up, when you're going to a party? Do you feel insecure? Some people do. I get that. Oh, I look dumb. I look stupid. I get that in a self deprecating aspect. And it's ironic how a lot of people, they might feel insecure, but they feel a lot more secure when they're dressing up for a Halloween party, right? Man, I feel great about myself. I feel woohoo, terrific. I look great. I look amazing. I feel amazing. I want you to be able to implement that in your relationship and your marriage with your partner, right? And what happens is, and I get that, when you're not feeling connected, you're not feeling emotionally, mentally connected. You don't feel like you like each other. I get all that, and that could be the foundation, the root of issues going on. But it's also looking at, excuse me, looking at when you feel that way, if you felt that way in your relationship, and not only that, what are you doing to, sort of tell your partner that she does look sexy on a regular basis. You look beautiful. You don't need makeup. Those type of situations, okay? So you look at those situations to be able to look at um the compliments, the oh my god, your eyes pop out. Can you sort of have that that moment with your partner once in a while, okay? And someone asked, what was the reason you last cried? I'm trying to remember last time. Might have been, trying to think, it could have been my granddaughter was born. Give you that. Cried out of happiness. It could have been a prior relationship ended. Could be that. I have to look at which, so it would have been probably one of those two things. And I'm very empathic, very compassionate. I feel for my clients. I actually care. Okay. And one mentioned, regardless if you're a man or woman, we demonize men for crying. And you're right, absolutely. And a lot of people not only, demonize those situations, but I think there's only certain situations for men to cry, right? Totally separate subject, right? And it could be when their mom dies, right? Mom, their dad, their grandmother, grandfather, their brother. It's acceptable then. But any other situation, you're right. It's societal, cultural, it could be race. Men are supposed to be this and brave, whatever. But let's be honest, a lot of women, they don't want their man crying all the time, right? The proverbial, oh, he's such a baby. What? Do you want me to get you a tampon? That type of situation. So there's a lot of situations when it comes down to, there's still stigmas out there about when men should cry, can't cry, those situations. So that's a good point. Looking at that as same thing, we can feel stress, we can feel, overwhelmed, and it doesn't make us weak, it makes us human. But we can still be strong and still feel overwhelmed and emotional at the same time. Okay. So, uh, looking at that, I hope that answered your question, or maybe gave some insights to the viewers and listeners out there. And I agree, there's a big stereotype out there about men crying, and it still exists today. Okay. So, um, with the Halloween thing, talk about your partner, talk to each other. Hey, I'd like to do this once in a while, or even, the pretend, which is the role play, right? It's those situations to be able to look at. Hey, can we role play that situation? Man, you acted so smooth, so sexy. Man, you look so funny, whatever had me cracking up. Can you implement that on a regular basis? And like I said earlier, your relationship, your marriage will breathe fire back into your relationship. You'll feel like more oxygen, more energy is put back into your relationship in your marriage, those type of situations. And it's part of having fun too, right? With day to days, we need to have fun. We need to laugh. A lot of people out there going through a lot of trauma stuff, losing loved ones. I deal with, clients that lost mom and then 2 weeks later lost their dad, their father. I'm not making this up. And it happens more than you realize. And everything is so bleh. It's depressing, it's sad, it's gut wrenching, it's devastating. People going through a divorce, losing a child, and they don't give themselves permission again to have fun because I went through this, or, it's almost like a survivor's guilt that I can't go have fun anymore because that means I don't really miss my child that passed, that I don't miss my mom that died, grandma, father, whoever, brother. That means I can't enjoy life because that means I don't miss them anymore. That's not true. It's giving yourself permission to still live. That doesn't mean you don't love them, forgot them, miss them. Not at all. It's being able to try to keep life going for you and to be able to give yourself permission to laugh and enjoy, even through, after a devastating event happened. Okay. Not easy. I get that. Okay. Now, if we switch it up a little bit, going to stop dwelling on problems. Again, you want to talk about Halloween or even throw out there, what's your, I should have asked that before I switch, what are your favorite Halloween costumes that you wore um, as an adult? What costume made you feel more sexy, more confident, more manly, or maybe more funny and silly, right? How many men still dress up as women? How many, men, I'm trying to remember costumes, Zorro before, I was Tigger before, uh, who was I? Oh, Scooby Doo before. That was mainly when my daughter was younger, going around for Halloween and stuff too. Um, so you look at, what costumes, even in the past, right? What costumes did you feel where you rocked it, that you felt you had the most fun just being role playing that, women stereotypical, right? Maybe it's Spider Girl, Spider Woman, Wonder Woman, whatever, right? Maybe Catwoman, ooh, baby. What, maybe a cave woman, whatever, right? Maybe it's that sexy librarian look, right? That powerful CEO, maybe the dominatrix, ooh, right? That you can be more in control, domineering. But in your personal life, it's sort of you're maybe soft spoken. You have a hard time speaking your mind, but you rock that dominatrix or that powerful CEO role. So we know it's in there somewhere, right? Can you bring that out once in a while in your own life and make you feel more alive, more confident? And you be ironic how that can lift and change your relationship and marriage for the better, okay? Because you start feeling more powerful. You start feeling more, I'm not talking arrogant power or narcissistic. No. I'm talking more confident, more, you feel more alive. You're not afraid to make a mistake. You can rock, be sexy, and that's who I am and I want to own that. And I shouldn't feel shy, timid, whatever. And a lot of women, let's face it, they might lose that once they have a child or have kids because you know what? Stretch marks, right? My body's not the same, but you can still have that, sexiness, that appeal. A lot of it is attitude. It's, how you respond to things, your attitude, your persona, the confidence is sexy in itself. And a lot of times your man, if you're heterosexual, your man don't care. They still find you sexy, right? Even though you don't. But it's about finding that way on to make you feel more confident and own how you are now. Okay. Mike mentioned, oh, let me get a dollar. Let me get a dollar, make you holler, right? With that, yeah, maybe you want to be a stripper, strip tease, that type of situation. I joke around, joke around once in a while. I don't want dollars. I need $5 bills thrown at me, right? So you look at those situations to be able to understand, what would bring sexiness and confidence back into your relationship or marriage if it was ever there, but it comes out during Halloween season and then it goes away. Don't let it go away. Bring it out once in a while throughout the year. Okay. And you can have fun. You can enjoy each other and own that. And, you'll, that playfulness in the relationship will come back and enliven everything up a little bit too. And it's ironic how you can feel more connected to each other again. Okay. And I know it's hard when you're not connected. Of course, the emotional mental connection is crucial, but this also can be a way to help bring that back. And you can be more open and more confident in talking about, hey, what made you feel more confident, but you're not that way forever? You're not that way all the time. What made you feel more sexy? And I loved it. It was awesome. Such a turn on, but you're not that way with that situation. Oh, Shane says $20 only. Talking about dollars, I said $5, $20. I don't know if I'd be able to rock the $20 limit, but some people can, right? So that's where you look at those situations to be able to understand how you can be a certain way one time, but it goes away throughout. And we, dealing, actors and actresses, they role play, right? But can you still, implement that can be still a part of you outside of that character on Halloween that you can implement now and then throughout your relationship to woohoo, wake it up, liven it up. Okay. Now, a little bit of a segue now, and again, throw your questions down below, your comments on relationship, marriage challenges, intimacy challenges that you're dealing with, dating challenges, and I'll do my best to answer them, like I mentioned. And for people, I'm going to do a rehash. I'm Greg Dudzinski, fully licensed professional counselor in the state of Michigan, Detroit here, and a relationship and sex specialist. I also have a lot of grief, a lot of trauma experience as well. Okay. So, transition to when people dwell on problems, when people dwell on issues, past issues, we have to look at number one, why is our person dwelling or can't heal from them? A lot of people will look at, why can't you get over it? Why can't you just move on? You get me? And you're wondering why a problem is still there a year later, 6 months later. I got all kind of stories. 20 years later, 27 years later, 43 years later. I'm not making this up, people. And the things I look at, I understand why that happens, but I want to go after to try to heal it. And so it doesn't have to be dwelled on anymore. It can be released, it can be healed. So when there are problems that keep one person or both of you are dwelling on in a relationship, we have to look at, you know, whatever that problem is, are we listening to our partner? Are we hearing how we're impacting our partner and not watering it down, not belittling it? So, are we, number two, are we connecting with that person's feelings, maybe their pain, their distraught, how that affected them? Or did we, let's face it, water it down? Did we belittle them for feeling a certain way? Or maybe they belittled us. They degraded us. Oh, we shouldn't feel that way. That's stupid. What are you, a baby? That's not a big deal. You get me? Those type of situations when there's not genuine remorse, genuine connection with that person's pain or feeling, that person will never be able to heal from that. And if they do, it's going to be fake. Because what happens when that problem comes up, or they're, say, most of what I work with, right? Somebody cheated, somebody, some type of betrayal, right? And they're like, I already said I'm sorry, get over it. And I'm like, oh no, here we go again, right? Um, no, there has to be genuine remorse and guilt. There has to be healing. And it's not based on the person that did the betraying, the hurting, their timeline. No, it has to do with the person that was hurt. They're the ones that determine when they are healed. Okay. And the more, when problems keep are dwelling and not being able to let go, I look at, that's the first thing I go after. What's their genuine remorse, guilt? What's their connection on what caused that person's pain? Was it connected with, or was it just blown off? And number two, a lot of people that do the hurting, they'll try to, like I just mentioned, water it down. They'll try to belittle it. They will try to, oh, it's not a big deal. Or, right, the next day, a day later, aren't you over it yet? I can't believe you're not over it. Just get over it. That tells your person that you really don't care about how they feel, how it impacted them, right? Even though you said, I'm sorry, whatever, that tells them you don't really care. And that's why that problem never heals. Okay. Another aspect, what happens is, let's be real. If that issue or that problem keeps going on, it keeps repeating itself. You get me? Then it will always be dwelled on. And you're like, oh, well, oh my God, that was 5 years ago, right? Well, then you lied again a year later. You lied again a year later. You just lied to me now. So all that comes back. That 5 years comes back into all this now. That's why somebody might be dwelling on an issue, because it's a repeat offense, or it's the same thing happening over and over and over again. And we have to look at, it could be something that might be, we might deem as small, but it's an important aspect to your partner, right? Maybe you forgot to put your shoes in the closet, and it's going, oh, I forgot, and it's 20 times. Oh my God, you never get over that. You get me? Because it keeps repeating itself. Now we look at, how do you go after healing and being able to stop dwelling on problems? Number one, are they resolved, or is it a repeat issue going on and on and on that it's not resolved? So that's why, let's face it, you keep dwelling on it, or both of you are fighting over the same situation over and over and over again, right? Let's face it, let's bring up maybe parenting, finances, right? Maybe one has different parenting discipline strategies. Maybe one's more authoritative, the other one's more authoritarian. And one's saying, oh, you're being too permissive, the other one, you're being too rough in handling the situation. But you look at, can you work together and compromise so you have each other's backs, right? And those are situations that, can you work together to resolve an issue, that way it's not ongoing. And a lot of times, let's face it, in parenting situation, the good cop bad cop, right? One is kissing the kids booties all the time, and the other one's maybe too strong, too dictatorship, that type of situation, and they lack the compassion, empathy, and understanding. So one is being over the top discipline, yelling, screaming, and the other one's being a lot more passive. So you're cutting each other's authority out, and you're fighting against each other, and that is going to be an ongoing issue. That's why you're dwelling on issue, because it's not healed. Because number one, you're not listening to your partner, and that could be both of you. You're not working together. Hey, you know what? Maybe I am too permissive. Maybe I am too much of a dictator with the kids, right? Maybe you can even talk and look in the mirror. Hey, what do we do to become together? Maybe I can toughen up a little bit, not be so passive. You know what? Maybe I can be not so much of an asshole. and we can do that and reach a compromise that we're not going to, you know, try to get the kids to, oh, like me more. Your dad's so mean or your mom's so mean. Come here, give me hugs, right? Or, you know what, you cut each other's authority in front of the kids type of situation, and it goes on and on and on. And you're wondering why you dwell on problems because they're not healed, they're not fixed. You get me? You have not reached a resolve. And that's why problems keep dwelling on it. Okay. And that's where I want people to understand, what are you doing if a problem keeps dwelling on and on and on? What are you doing to try to understand what the other person's feeling? And you know what? You can disagree, but are you openly being real and being considerate and curious and caring? Hey, why are you thinking this? I know it's hard for you to be stronger with the kids. I know maybe you grew up horrific, right? And now you're babying the kids. That's not good either, right? Not healthy at all. So, trying to connect with each other. Hey, I know you don't want the kids to grow up to be irresponsible, to be, they lack work ethic, they lack discipline, they lack response. Hey, I get why you're like this. Well, maybe it's a little too rough. You get me? It's trying to come to each other with trying to teach and trying, not only teach each other, but to learn from one another. Okay. So working together on problems. And let's face it, why do people get divorced, break up? Because unresolved problems. And some of them could be, like a difference in value systems that one person, there's no middle ground that works for both people. Monogamy, open relationship, or being swingers, right? That might be one. One keeps wanting a kid or another kid, and the other one doesn't want anymore. um those type of situations. And it's, when do you promote self-love and self-respect versus that you sell that out and give in? And that's where, you look at, what is the problem going on, then look at why do we keep dwelling on it? Duh, because it's not resolved. Or one of you think it's resolved and fixed and the other one is not. So go after, hey, what are you feeling, what's going on, what is not maybe being met to help heal this. And it's not a situation where you're trying to, well, you should be over it. Oh my God, you keep bringing up, here we go again. How many people have been in that situation, either the receiving end or maybe you're the one saying it? And that just belittles that partner, shows them not that you don't care, but it shows them that you really don't care and they shouldn't feel a certain way. So that's typically why problems are dwelled on because they're not healed. And if you need help, reach out to me. My website, theartofrelationships.org. Call me, text me. My website, information's on there. DM me at Love Guru Greg on wherever you're listening from. Okay. So that's where I make it sound easy, but I know it's not easy, people. It's being able to work together, not against each other when you know problems keep dwelling. I hear this on a daily basis. Oh my God, we keep fighting over the same thing over and over and over again. Now my question is, how are you handling it? Do you even ask each other, how does that even affect each other? Right? Or why do you disagree with me? And it's not, oh, there you go again, disagreeing with me, that we're getting defensive, we're attacking. It's almost like we're interrogating versus trying to learn and understand. Big difference, right? It's voice tone, it's coming to each other, right? Not attacking. That's where those discussions have to take place. Hey, I know, man, we keep going round and round on this issue. Hey, what can we do? What are your thoughts? What do you need from me to help solve this or to fix this, to heal this? Whatever term you want to do. Hey, what can we do so it's not a problem anymore? Oh my God, why are you dwelling on this? Not belittling, but understand, hey, am I missing something? What am I doing? What am I not doing to help you heal from this? Hey, what can we do that it's still not? not a problem anymore. That would be great versus, oh my God, you keep dwelling on it. Don't do that because that is belittling. It's degrading and that needs to stop. Okay. So take this information and, start implementing it in your relationship. And you're going to start, the other person might, after they wake up from passing out on the floor, oh my God, they actually are wondering how I'm feeling, how I'm affecting, not degrading, belittling. Joking up. I'm not used to this, so I just freaking fainted, right? But start implementing this stuff and you're gonna about problem solving, okay? And if not, reach out for professional help. Like I said, my website, theartofrelationships.org, at Love Guru Greg on every listening platform out there. I do, marriage, relationship, couples counseling and coaching. Um, been doing it for what, 2 decades, 22 years now, a long time. Okay. And and remember the first half of the show was about Halloween and start having fun, start implementing, those role playing situations in your life. And not only that, it's also about the persona. I don't want the persona, I want the reality about, when you were maybe more laughing, joking around, and you're serious all the time, but you were joking around during Halloween, the Halloween party. Same thing, you're, maybe more, shy, timid, not, you know, sort of shy about sex with your partner. All of a sudden, you were rocking it, swinging, flaunting it all over the place during the holiday party, and your partner gets upset, maybe mad. Oh my God, where'd this come from? Right? And man, bring that out. That's hot. Whatever. What can I do to help you bring this out in our daily lives, in our regular life together? Okay. So take care, everybody. Peace and love to everybody out there. Everybody be safe. If you have little ones trick or treating, I hope they are safe. I hope the weather wherever you're out is fantastic. And I hope they have fun trick or treating tomorrow night. Okay. And you do too. You have fun. You get to laugh and be playful too, along with your little ones. Okay. Peace and love, everybody. Take care. Bye bye. Bye bye.